In the name of the cosmos. Hi, Moon. What? You're in Saturn's house? Looking for freedom? Boy, you better make some connections. The moon becomes full at 16 degrees 7 in the sign of Aquarius as it arrives into the lunar mansion known as Shatabisha. Welcome to In the Name of the Cosmos. My name is Sarah Prakash. I'm a Vedic astrologer, and in today's video we're going to examine the full moon cycle of September as it helps to kick off this very volatile month of shifts in direction, of helping to break through the stagnant energy and where we're going to need to develop emotional fortitude. Now, to understand the energy of the full moon, we need to first examine the energies that are surrounding it and helping to create the atmosphere. So we have Saturn and Jupiter both preparing to station. They're very slowed down in their movement. They're almost completely stopped, where they're preparing to move direct. So this intensifies their energy and helps to magnify their effects. Then we have Mars, the planet of action, the planet of war, the planet of problem solving. He's preparing to station. He's barely moving at this time. He's going to start to go retrograde. So we have two planets that are stationing direct, Saturn and Jupiter. And then we have Mars preparing to station to go retrograde. And then on the same day as the full moon, we have Venus, our planet of comfort, our planet of connection, our planet of desire, our planet of indulgence, move into its enemy sign of Cancer, where it feels very irritated and agitated as it comes into opposition with Saturn and under the aspect of Mars, where it's having a difficulty in finding its way to make resources. Then we have on the 2nd of September, we have Mercury, our planet of intellect, our planet of finding solutions, our planet of our knowledge. He's moved into his state of exaltation. So he's becoming very clear, very precise, but also very critical. So these backdrop of energies of Saturn and Jupiter both starting to station direct, these represent government, right? So these are two parts where the government is reaching us. And then we have Mars starting to start his retrograde cycle. It's where we're starting to go in. And if we look at where the sun is placed currently, it's in the sign of Leo. So this representing the king or our rulers, right? And opposite to it, the full moon is the place of the kingdom, right? So in this place of Shatabisha nakshatra, this lunar house that the full moon is occurring in, it's often misunderstood as being a place of healing, when in fact it's related to chronic illness or long-term illness and a long-term healing that's required. So it's not a place of healing, but rather than this identification of an illness that needs to be treated ongoing. And this is not only relating to our inner health, but it's also our outer health, right? Because in Aquarius, it's also about the good of the people, the good of man. So it's the healing of our inner world and our outer atmosphere of how all of this is taking place, how it's impacted us all, right? So here, it doesn't want to be restricted. So Shatabisha, its symbol is a circle or a blackened sun. So it's this very mysterious place that doesn't want to be contained. It's this place of boundlessness, right? It's a very mysterious and mystical nakshatra, but it's a place that is also quite rebellious, right? Because it's this Mula Trikona position of Saturn, this nakshatra. And so here in it is Saturn, even though it's a planet of restriction, it does not respond to the command of hierarchy. This is where it starts to rebel. So this nakshatra here is a very rebellious place. We can also see it through the aspect of Rahu. So we'll be in this state of where we're feeling rebellious in the containment that will start to be pushed upon us, but where we're really needing to see how we need to take responsibility, how we co-created this environment. and how this environment is part of our karma. It's part of our experience that we came here to have. So how we start to integrate this and how we start to work together collectively, because Aquarius is about working collectively, how we start to work to create a solution by taking responsibility for ourselves, for our thoughts, for our vitality, for our feelings in a very mature way where we're developing our fortitude so that we're strengthened. Now we have Mercury, as I mentioned, on the 2nd of September going into his position of exaltation. This is great for us in terms of our ability to be precise, to calculate, and to assess and to plan. This is an excellent position for him, but it's also a position where he becomes very critical. So we want to make sure that we continually direct him through his transit through the 27th of the month, right? So in the beginning stages, we can feel frustrated, restricted, and irritated. And with Venus sitting in its position of not getting the resources needs and not being able to see how to create the resources, we need to make sure that we're not over rebelling. This is very important. We should stand for our rights, of course. We should stand for what we think is the truth, but we should not overstep this position of rebelling too much, because we can get pushed into a corner where we don't want to be. This is a key point for this full moon cycle, because with Mars aspecting to Venus and then Saturn in opposition to Venus, it really speaks to a lot of restrictions starting to be put onto us. So we need to make sure that we're working within the constraints and learning how to navigate it so that we can once become free again. This is very important for us right now. This full moon cycle is really about connecting with our tribe, connecting with our community, about connecting with the cause, about us moving outside of our own limited self-identity. It's very important right now that we step out and come into a place of service for a common goal with those who can help support it to be realized. This is important in this full moon cycle. Whether you're doing it with business, where you're doing it through spiritual activities, where you're doing it through forming alliances for business, or helping to just take care of each other in your community so that you make sure everyone has their needs met. This is really important to bring balance right now, because with how the rulers are moving in this moment, they don't really have a view on the common man. And here the full moon is really speaking about the common man, that the common man is really cared for. So make sure that you step outside of your comfort zone, out of your own self-limited identity, to really reach out and to serve other people. This is really important right now, because we're in this time with this virus really being active at least through the spring of next year. There's going to be no immediate relief. There's just not. So when we look to the planetary configurations that are occurring right now, there's nothing that's supporting really a fix. We're still in the very much early stages, but that does not mean that we can't live. This is important also to know. We can still live and we can still flourish. There's a lot of light that's coming to us. There's a lot of benefit that's coming to us. But this is part of our learning cycle of whether we believe in the virus or not, for those who do and for those who don't, there's something that is in conflict with our inner world and our outer atmosphere. So this is a set for really readjusting ourselves into a space where we come really into truth, and this will come. This will come through the end of the year. So you just need to make sure that you have the strength and fortitude of your emotional sense of self, and that your mind is clear with the direction that you want to go, but that you work in a sense of community. It's not about us self-isolating to the fact where we don't help each other anymore. This is really important right now. Satabhisha is really going to focus on finding a remedy, right? So it's really looking for the solution. And with Mercury strong in its own sign, this will help us to strengthen this search for a remedy. And a remedy doesn't simply mean for a medicine, it means a complete remedy. So it's a financial remedy, it's a working remedy, it's a mental and emotional health remedy. It's this total component. It's just not of a medicine. This is a very superficial answer that most people will give with this Shatabisha, because it's much deeper than this. It's ruled by this deity Varuna, this vastness of space. So this vastness of space that's able to pull these like intangible particles together to make them concrete. So it's not simply about the healing through a medicine. It's really about the healing and integration of our inner and outer spaces and making them unified and making them a whole. It's much deeper than healing with a medicine. It's a complete and total healing. Now, I recommend to you through this full moon cycle is really to meditate on the image of the Sri Yantra. The Sri Yantra is a sacred geometry that was designed by the rishis that really helped to harmonize our inner world and our outer world. I suggest you look for a reliable source online and print it out and just start to meditate on it, stare at it, and to really consciously breathe, have a conscious pranayam, and this will help to start to shift your inner world perception and your outer world harmonization. It's a beautiful practice, so please do give it a try. Now let's take a look sign by sign to see what's occurring for each and every one of you. Now again, I want to remind you that this is according to the Vedic system. This is different to the Western system by 23, nearly 24 degrees. So you're going to need to calculate for your sign for this. And if not, you need to look online for a free calculator or make an appointment with an astrologer to find out what is your sign, because it's really different to the Western system of astrology. We're using an ancient tradition that has been unchanged, and one that is really following this yogic path, this path of the seer. So it's different to the Western system in its relationship to the earth, because it's looking at the greater picture of the being and the totality of the universe and not just relating to our earthly form. So for Aries, this is occurring for you in your 11th house, your 11th house of gains. Your full moon is your ruler of your 4th. So with you, you'll have a lot of benefit if you put your energy into your 4th house. And this also is lining up with what I mentioned for you in the Venus video prediction. So here, you really want to take care to just put energy into your home, into your house environment, because this can really shift how you're feeling about yourself and about your productivity and your life. And then you'll start to get the shine, the power of the moon really active for you here. For Taurus. So for Taurus, this is happening for you in your 10th house of career, and it's your 3rd house ruler. So here, by collaborating and working with people, you'll see a great benefit if you can take a commitment and make a direction to learn how to integrate and to collaborate with others, and really find the courage to really stick to something, to make a commitment, and really not just to be reactive right now. So for Gemini, this is happening in your 9th house. It's your 2nd house ruler in your 9th house. So it's you finding the value through wisdom and through teachings, through making deeper connections about bringing in what it is that you truly believe in, what you truly love. And with your ruling planet in the 4th house, it's really this benefit of feeling total satisfaction with the arrangement of following your path of higher wisdom, of things that you connect with on a soul level, a deeper level, and how you can actually make money from this, actually how you can turn it into career, how you can make it turn into the value and of money coming in to repay you for your dedication. So for Cancer, this is happening in your 8th house. And the 8th house is often misunderstood as being a negative house, but it's just a place where we don't see so clearly, where this classroom of life is not so clear with the lessons that it wants to give to us. It's a place where we have to learn how to merge. And for you, this is easy to do because you're a very sensitive being. So for you, it's not difficult in the transit here. It just gives you a broader view on how you can connect connect with other people. So with Venus in your first house and your ruling planet moved into the 8th and Mercury in your third house right now, it's really about how you're connecting with others and how you can take your sensitivity to really open up your heart and help to open up other people's hearts so that they feel supported and then you feel rewarded at the same time. Leo. So for Leo, this is happening in your 7th house of partnerships. So for here for you, the moon is free from affliction. So you're feeling satisfied in your relations. You're feeling energized with your relations. You're feeling a connection with your relation. And with the sun in your first house, you're feeling vital and alive. And Mercury, your 2nd and 11th house ruler, is also working on your connection. So all in all, the full moon and the month of September actually is quite good for you because you're feeling connected, you're feeling vital, and you're feeling like you've seen a path out of this. So this is a nice full moon transit for you. It's still good for you to look at the Sri Yantra, so I suggest you do that. For Gemini, this full moon is occurring for you in your 6th house, your 6th house of competitors, your 6th house of work, your 6th house of illness, your 6th house of debt. So here with you, your ruling planet is strong in its first house. So you're feeling already energized and stimulated and kind of free. So this is the full moon for you is not so impactful because you're feeling a lot of support from your own resources and you're able to direct it. So the full moon is highlighting where you perhaps need to work better within your systems, within your work environment to make the collaborations more collaborative rather than you directing. So looking at bringing your mercurial skill to really help to engage other people rather than to attack, because with your ruling planet strong in its own sign, it can still be very critical. So just watch your communications with your colleagues and look at how you can direct it in a more positive way. Otherwise, it's a good transit for you. Or Libra. So for Libra, this is happening in your 5th house. So here, this month for you, Libra, I really see that you could try to overindulge, not kind of taking into account how things are starting to slip. So for you, it's really a time where you need to just, again, not overindulge. This is happening with Venus for you as well, like with Venus transiting in the sign of Cancer, you can be in this mode of overindulgence. It's a good transit for you in that there's a good connection with what you're doing, with what you love. Overall, you've got some good career movement in September, so you're feeling juiced up and you're feeling satisfied, so it's good for you. Scorpio. So for Scorpio, this is happening in your 4th house of home, the thing that nourishes you. And this is a nice transit for you, but it's where you need to get clear with your children. Maybe you need to get clear with your partner about what's happening in the home and how you want to redirect or change some aspects of your home. Maybe perhaps with how you're spending within your home or reworking a mortgage because you've got Mercury in your 11th house right now. So maybe you want to rework your finances with it and having the discussion within your home. But overall, it's a very positive transit for you. Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, this is happening in your 3rd house. So your 3rd house of efforts, courage, and collaborations. So again, this is a month for you, Sagittarius, where you just don't want to make too many big strides because it will kind of come and bite you in the ass later. So just don't make too many big decisions with contracts, with money, with things like this right now. With the full moon here, it's not the best for you, but it's also not the worst. So it's more troublesome for you with Mercury, where Mercury is moving and where Venus is moving. The full moon cycle will just highlight where you need to be careful about who you're starting to come into business with and who you're making agreements with. So for Capricorn, this is occurring in your 2nd house, the things that you value, the things that are important, and the things that you take in. It's again relating to your relations and your partnerships of what you're connecting to. It's actually a beautiful full moon for you. You'll feel energized and you'll feel like you are connecting well with others, feeling supported. For Aquarius, this is happening in your 1st house. In Aquarius, you're having a difficult month in September, and this full moon will also bring it to a highlight where your identity is feeling challenged, where you are feeling like you're not happy with your life, how things are going. You can just feel irritated and frustrated. So for you, it's really important that you move your body, that you get your mind and your mental health clear, because your outlook is kind of like you've got stinking thinking right now. And it's It can impact negatively your long-term relations because you could just have a tendency to throw things away. So just take care, because here in your first house, it's just illuminating where you need to find this inner connection with yourself and start to bring harmony within yourself and your outer environment. This is really important for you because it's also relating again to your health. So your health is also an issue. You need to take care of your bones and you need to take care of your nervous system. This is a big theme for you in September. For Pisces, this is happening for you in your 12th house. This is not so great for you, but it's because it's a place where you can escape. So you can escape and try and just put your head into the sand and feel like I don't have the energy to deal with it, especially with Venus in your 5th house and with Mercury in your 7th. You can just feel like, I don't know how to deal with it, but you need to persevere. This is something that really Pisces really need to learn, is perseverance, to just keep going at it, just keep going at it, keep going at it. So keep working on whatever it is behind the scenes, even if you're not ready to make big leaps, because it's not the best transit, but it's also a place where you can make leaps, where you're doing the steps going forward within yourself, not trying to escape and just thinking like, I can't deal with it. And it's not easy because you really need to learn fortitude. You need to really learn perseverance. I thank you very much for joining me in my video today. Please like and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Please remember to try the Shri Yantra. It's easy to do. It's not a religious thing. It's just a shape and form that helps to work on the repatterning of the brain so that we can have a more positive experience and connect it with a conscious pranayama, and you'll see really significant changes in your outlook and how you feel about things. I wish you a blessed full moon, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Satanam.